betrayed and broken in the city that never sleeps. It began with a tremor in my gut, a low hum of unease that escalated into a full-blown earthquake of doubt. I'm Mark, and my life in New York City with my wife, Emily, had been a solid brick building of trust, until it crumbled. We were kids when we met, 19, dizzy with that electric city love. She had Chloe, her daughter, a 4-month-old bundle of joy from a relationship that had vanished before it truly began. Chloe's father was just a name, a ghost in the rear view, but fatherhood, that was a lifelong dream for me. A genetic hiccup meant biological kids were off the table. Adoption was always our plan, destiny even. Chloe was perfect. Our little family, picture perfect. Marriage followed last year, a rooftop affair overlooking the Manhattan skyline. Emily wasn't close to her family, not really, except for 2 cousins, brothers, Ben and Chris. Ben, the elder, more reserved. Chris, younger, with that restless energy, that glint in his eye that always felt a little too sharp. I'd actually enjoyed getting to know them initially. They seemed decent enough. Decent. Emily had once, almost dismissively, mentioned that Chris, when they were kids, maybe 12, 13, had tried to kiss her at some summer barbecue. Kid stuff, she'd said. Awkward teenage fumblings. Christmas gatherings at her aunt's sprawling Upper East Side apartment. Chris was always there. The one island of casual cool in a sea of stiff formality. I genuinely liked him in a way. He was the down-to-earth one in a family that seemed perpetually starched and buttoned up. Then, the reconnection. Emily's words. Family stuff, she'd explain vaguely. A distant relative's wedding upstate, a memorial service for some great uncle I'd never met, didn't even know existed. We were a 1-car family, our beat-up Hondas struggling through the gridlock of Brooklyn streets. My job in finance downtown demanded the car during the week. Enter Chris, the helpful cousin, suddenly Emily's personal chauffeur to these mysterious family functions. Seemed normal, right? Cousins, family. Except Emily started to change. Subtly, imperceptibly at first. A dimmer switch on her usual vibrancy. Quieter evenings, fewer laughs echoing through our brownstone apartment. Then, the Facebook friend request. Out of the blue. Or so I thought. It was from Sarah, a new analyst at my firm, completely innocuous professional networking. I accepted it, no big deal. Emily saw it. Her eyes, usually warm and inviting, flickered with something cold, something I couldn't quite place. No direct accusation, nothing overt. But the air in the room shifted, became thick with unspoken tension. New friend from work? She'd asked, too casually, a little too much edge in her voice. I shrugged, trying to diffuse the weirdness. Just networking, you know how it is. But the seed of doubt was planted. Cheaters accuse. I'd read that somewhere, in some pop psychology article. Projection. Was she projecting? The family events continued, a steady drumbeat of weekend absences. Facebook became a curated highlight reel of smiling faces. Emily always in the frame. Chris often lurking nearby, just a little too close. She'd send me photos, too. Forced smiles plastered on her face, strained laughter frozen in digital pixels. Coming home, she was distant. like a ghost inhabiting her own body. Sex, mechanical, perfunctory, quiet. She blamed her depression, that familiar shadow that sometimes crept into her life, darkening her spirit. Just a bad patch, she'd murmur, her voice flat, devoid of emotion. I'd hold her, comfort her, try to coax the light back into her eyes. But this felt different, colder, more deliberate. Then, 2 weeks ago, the dam broke. Emily started a new job, thankfully, closer to home in Brooklyn, less of that soul-crushing commute into Manhattan. It was my day off. Aaron's day, I suggested, trying to be the supportive husband. Dropped Chloe off at school, came back to the quiet apartment, the silence suddenly oppressive, checked emails, then mindlessly scrolled through Facebook. Notification, message from Chris, baseball game. Right. We tossed around the idea of catching a Brooklyn Cyclones game out in Coney Island, something casual, fun. Clicked on it, expecting some update on game schedules. Message, I want to see you on your knees. Ice water in my veins. Wrong account. Definitely the wrong account. Emily's Facebook was still logged in on my laptop. My wife. He was talking to my wife. Rage, a primal roar in my chest, threatening to explode. I frantically scrolled up, their chat history unfurling like a twisted, obscene play. Chris, the predator, the smooth-talking creep, his messages oozing with sexual filth, veiled threats, possessive undertones, and Emily, her replies. Chris, stop. I'm married. No, I can't. I'm married to Mark. But the no was weak, watery, lacking conviction, more like a polite refusal than a firm rejection. Like she was saying no because she thought she had to, not because she truly wanted to. Disgust churned in my stomach, bile rising in my throat. I was floored, utterly and completely blindsided. Nothing explicit, no outright confession of cheating, just Chris's relentless, aggressive pursuit and her flimsy resistance. That night, after Chloe was finally asleep, tucked into her bed with her collection of stuffed animals, I confronted Emily, showed her the messages, the screen trembling in my hands. She shattered. Hysterical sobs ripped through her, tears cascading down her face, blurring her features. I didn't do anything. I swear. I didn't know how to tell you. I was so ashamed. I just hoped he'd stop. I was going to tell him to leave me alone. Childhood trauma. The unspoken bond. The shared scar tissue. We both carried that weight, that legacy of abuse from trusted family friends. Years of therapy, countless hours dissecting our pasts, learning to communicate, to set boundaries, to navigate the minefield of intimacy. We'd built our relationship on a foundation of brutal honesty, of unwavering trust. I wanted to believe her, desperately. Clung to the hope that Chris was just a persistent creep, an unwelcome shadow from her past. But the secrecy, the weeks of evasiveness, the subtle changes in her behavior, it all pointed to something darker, something more sinister. Can I message him? I asked, my voice tight, strained. Tell him to back off. Tell him what a revolting piece of garbage he is. He's family, Emily, for God's sake. She recoiled as if physically struck. No, please, no. Let me handle it. I'll talk to him. I'll tell him to stop. Just Let me deal with it." Her voice trembled, devoid of any real strength, any conviction. "Please, Mark." Doubt, a venomous serpent, coiled tighter in my gut. Handle it. Why? Protect him, protect herself, or protect something else entirely. "No, Emily," I said, my voice hardening, steeling itself against the wave of nausea rising within me. "This isn't something you handle. He's sexually harassing my wife. Our wife. I'm handling it. Right now." I typed out a message, each word a hammer blow. "Chris, you're disgusting. Stay the hell away from my wife. You're supposed to be family. You're supposed to protect her, not prey on her like some animal. If you ever contact her again in any way, shape, or form, you'll regret it for the rest of your miserable life." Sent. Read receipt pinged almost instantly. Silence. No reply. "Coward," Emily erupted. "You shouldn't have done that. I told you I would handle it. You made everything worse." Another tidal wave of doubt crashed over me, threatening to drown me. Why was she so furious at me for defending her, for protecting her from this predator? "He's harassing you, Emily. Don't you get it? What was I supposed to do? Stand by and watch? Let him keep doing this to you?" She softened, just a fraction. I guess you're right. Maybe. I was scared. I didn't know what to do." We went to bed, the chasm between us widening with every breath, the air thick with unspoken accusations, with the heavy weight of betrayal. 3 days crawled by, each hour an eternity. Then more tears. Sunday afternoon, I came home to find her crumpled on the couch, sobbing uncontrollably. "It's Chris," she choked out between gasps. "He won't talk to me. I tried to call him to explain, to apologize for you messaging him. He's ignoring me. He won't even answer my calls." Apologize? To him? For me standing up for her? For protecting her? My anger, simmering beneath the surface, finally boiled over. "Apologize for what, Emily? For me telling him to leave you alone? Are you actually serious right now?" I snapped, my voice cracking with a mixture of rage and disbelief. "Enough with the tears, Emily. Enough with the Chris drama. Enough with the goddamn lies. Tell me the truth. Right now. What the hell is going on?" She just looked at me, eyes red and swollen, face streaked with tears, utterly defeated, and in that moment I knew with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that I was losing her, that I had already lost her. I was done. Completely, irrevocably done. I was teetering on the precipice, ready to plunge into the abyss of heartbreak and fury. 2 a.m. Insomnia had become my unwelcome companion. Still up, hunched over my laptop, wrestling with a quarterly report that now seemed utterly meaningless in the face of my crumbling reality. Heard her voice, muffled from the bedroom, low, conspiratorial. Then a chuckle, a soft, intimate chuckle. At 2 a.m, on the phone. Not normal. Not Emily. I walked in, feigning casualness. "Everything okay?" She jumped, startled, phone clutched to her ear. "Mom," she said quickly, too quickly. "Just Mom. Kid's birthday party stuff. Planning Chloe's party." Lies. Paper-thin, transparent lies. I played along, the charade already exhausting me. Smiled weakly, kissed her forehead, retreated back to my desk, the knot in my stomach tightening into a painful, suffocating ball. The next day, Monday morning, more tears. The cycle repeated. "He still won't talk to me," she whimpered, her voice small, pathetic. "Chris, he's still ignoring me. I just wanted to explain, to apologize." Enough. I'd reached my breaking point. "Emily," I said, my voice dangerously calm, dangerously controlled. "Enough with the games. Enough with the manipulation. Enough. Is he abusing you, Emily? Or are you cheating on me? Because it's got to be one or the other, and I need to know. I deserve to know the truth." The words hung in the air, heavy, toxic, the unspoken accusations finally out in the open. She just stared at me, tears welling up again, silent, unmoving. Edit. "Thanks for the advice, internet strangers. Woke up this morning, Emily already awake, getting ready for work. The air in the apartment was thick with unspoken tension, a silent battlefield. Made breakfast, toast and coffee, the smell doing little to cut through the heavy atmosphere. Forced a smile, a pathetic attempt at normalcy. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice even, neutral. "Look, I'm sorry I blew up last night. It wasn't fair. We should talk, really talk, tonight." She agreed, too readily, too easily. No argument, no pushback, no fight. Just a weary acceptance. "Yeah, okay," she said, her voice flat, almost relieved. I know I've been acting badly. Tried detonating a nuclear bomb in the middle of our marriage. I played along, desperate to keep the fragile peace, to buy myself time. "It's tough," I said, carefully choosing my words. "Dealing with family harassment, especially when it's someone like Chris. It's complicated." She just nodded, eyes downcast, avoiding my gaze, snooping. I'd resisted the urge, fought against the creeping paranoia. But the online chorus was relentless, a constant drumbeat in my mind. "Snoop, snoop, snoop." Fine, internet. I'll snoop. Sunday night, Chloe was at my parents' place in Queens, our usual weekend routine. Perfect opportunity. Emily was at work, oblivious, trapped in the fluorescent-lit purgatory of her new office, logged into her email on my laptop, fingers trembling slightly, heart hammering against my ribs, adrenaline surging through my veins. Clicked on sent items. Nothing overtly suspicious. Then, deleted items. The digital graveyard of secrets. Bingo. Yummy. Subject line. Short, suggestive, sickeningly sweet. Clicked. My world imploded. Picture. Chris. Naked, leering at the camera. A grotesque smirk plastered across his face. Back and forth emails, a torrent of filth, graphic descriptions, explicit details that burned my eyes and scorched my soul. Him bragging about gay encounters, tawdry stories of anonymous hookups in dark bars, public restrooms, cheap motels, references to past times, coded language about our little games, our secret, picture of a strap-on dildo, black leather and steel. Caption: still have our old friend. Remember the fun we had with this? Dates: a year ago, 2 years ago, years of this depravity, before we were married, during our engagement, even after our wedding. Years of secret rendezvous, hidden desires, a clandestine life lived beneath the surface of our seemingly normal existence. She used the married excuse in their chats, a flimsy shield, but it sounded like a twisted kink, a perverse game of cat and mouse. You can't touch me now, Chris. I'm married. Did that ignite him? Did it fuel her? Did it make it all the more forbidden, all the more intoxicating? I raised her daughter, Chloe, my daughter, in every way that mattered. 6 years. 6 years of my life poured into this family, this love, this lie. Changed my career path, turned down promotions, prioritized school pickups and parent-teacher conferences over late nights at the office. Sacrificed everything, willingly, gladly, for her, for Chloe, for us. And she was doing this? This vile, disgusting, incestuous filth? With her cousin? Rage, a white-hot inferno, incinerated everything in its path. I stumbled out onto the small balcony, overlooking the brownstone's courtyard, gasping for air. The city noise a dull roar in the background. Called my brother, David, voice cracking, barely coherent. Come over, please. Now. I need you. He arrived within minutes, face etched with concern, confusion swirling in his eyes. I told him everything, the messages, the pictures, the crushing weight of betrayal. Take my gun, I choked out, unlocking the gun safe, handing him the hunting rifle my dad had given me years ago, a relic of a life I no longer recognized. Just take it, before I do something stupid. Suicidal thoughts flickered, dark, tempting whispers in the back of my mind. Homicidal urges. A raw, visceral need for revenge, for retribution. Both? Neither. I was teetering on the edge, sanity fraying, emotions a tangled mess of grief, rage, and disbelief. I packed a bag, throwing in clothes, toiletries, anything to escape the suffocating confines of our apartment, our life. Hotel. Needed to disappear, to vanish, to outrun the pain. Printed the emails, every single damning word, every sickening image. Sent copies to my own email, cloud storage, backed them up, and backed them up again. Evidence. Ammunition. I'd bury them both in it. Bought a pack of cigarettes, Marlboro Reds, the classic self-destruction brand. Quit 4 years ago, cold turkey. Didn't care. Needed the burn in my lungs, the acrid smoke filling the air, a physical manifestation of the poison seeping through my soul. STD clinic. The emails echoed in my mind, a horrifying soundtrack to my unraveling life. Unprotected sex, anonymous encounters, gay hookups, Chris's thing, Emily, me, unprotected for 6 years. 6 years of trust, of intimacy, now tainted, poisoned. Months of agonizing waiting, blood tests, anxiety gnawing at my insides. Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for the lifetime of paranoia. Chris's wife. He was married, wasn't he? Had to be. Never met her. Didn't even know her name. Didn't matter. She deserved to know, deserved to be spared this nightmare. Drove to his office building, recognized the sleek glass tower from my own corporate days, parked across the street, watched, waited, cigarette smoke stinging my eyes. Saw him emerge, heading towards his car, that cocky swagger still infuriatingly present. Walked over, printed emails clutched in my hand, a weapon of truth. Chris? He stopped, startled, recognition dawning in his eyes. We need to talk. His face paled, the smirk vanishing, replaced by a flicker of fear. Good. Divorce. The only word that echoed in my mind, a stark, cold pronouncement. No question. No therapy, no apologies, no empty promises of change. Incest, betrayal, lies, disgust, the pillars of our life, reduced to rubble. She gets nothing, absolutely nothing but the wreckage of her own choices, nothing but my contempt. Life was a cruel, twisted joke. Rage still simmered, a molten core within me, threatening to erupt. Cigarette smoke, a fleeting, inadequate bomb, wanted to scream, to shatter glass, to inflict pain, to make them both feel even a fraction of the agony tearing me apart, but mostly just wanted to disappear. To become invisible, to erase myself from this nightmare. Thank you for listening. This is betrayed and broken, and this, I knew, was only the beginning of the fallout.